She said it like it meant nothing. Not here. Go sit in the guest section. Her breath brushed my cheek. Cool, composed, like she wasn't dismantling me in front of 100 witnesses. I froze, one hand still resting on the chair I thought was mine. Seconds dragged like hours. Then she turned, smiling up at her wealthy ex. You deserve this seat more. He smirked and slid in beside her like they'd rehearsed it. Her family laughed, an inside joke I was never part of. Mine just sat there, silent, like they'd been warned. I looked at her one last time. She didn't even blink. That's when it hit me. I straightened my suit, adjusted the cufflinks she'd gifted me last Christmas, nodded once, and said, "Carry on." Then I walked out of the aisle like I was leaving a boardroom early. Not escaping. Stepping into the role I'd spent weeks preparing. We met when everything in my life was falling apart. My company had flatlined. Then she walked in, sharp, funny, driven. A lifeline. She said she believed in building empires together. I believed her. We started from the ground up, cheap rent, joint savings, ramen at 2 a.m. while sketching out business plans. Through every struggle, she smiled. And I thought, this is real. Then the company took off, fast. Suddenly, we weren't budgeting bills. We were buying a townhouse, upgrading cars, attending front-row charity galas. Her idea. She pushed me into the spotlight. But behind the curtains, she started disappearing, coming home late, glued to her phone, smiling with her mouth but not her eyes. I asked. She said I was paranoid, projecting old scars. Maybe I was. But something underneath our laughter had gone sour. I could feel it. Then came the prenup. She insisted. Said it was just a formality, protection. But it wasn't mutual. It was hers. Her lawyer. Her terms. Her numbers. I signed it anyway. Love does that. Or the illusion of it. 3 weeks before the wedding, I got the email. No subject line. Anonymous address. Just screenshots. Text threads between her and her ex-dates. Hotel bookings, 6 months worth. Blurry photos, but clear enough. Then a voice memo. Her voice, laughing. He's so wrapped around my finger, he'd probably shake your hand at the altar. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. Just stared at the screen until the battery died. Then I charged it, listened again. And again, until each replay numbed me more. I didn't confront her. I played the part. Held her hand at tastings, smiled through floral meetings, sat with her family. But inside, I was still. Cold. The eye of a storm. I didn't want revenge. I wanted precision. First, I called my lawyer. Quietly. Had him draft a revised prenup. Hidden clauses buried in the legal jargon. Clause 1. Any infidelity proven before signing voids all shared asset claims. Clause 2. Any evidence submitted before the wedding is retroactively admissible. She signed it 3 days before the ceremony. Smiling. Next, I contacted HR at her ex's firm. Sent screenshots. Not from my device, from a burner. Their company had strict policies about conflicts of interest, especially when it involved investors' partners. I pulled my stake the next day. Quietly. Cost them 6 figures. I briefed my photographer, my guy, with instructions, record everything. Audio included. Documentary style, I said. The venue? Rented under my LLC. The catering? Paid in full, on the condition they pull service on my signal. The DJ, too. I invited the press. Not as journalists, as guests. Finance writers. Gossip columnists. Told them something big was coming. They showed up dressed to kill, cameras tucked in handbags. And then, the moment. Go sit in the guest section. I left the aisle. Walked calmly to the coordinator's office. Gave the signal. Music stopped mid-chorus. Buffet staff began quietly packing. Photographers repositioned. 5 minutes later, I returned. Nothing had changed. Confused murmurs spread. I stepped onto the small stage meant for our vows. Took the mic. Thank you for coming. But there's been a change of plans. She stood. What are you doing? Finishing what you started. Then I cued the screen. The projector lit up. Photos, messages, voice memos. All set to soft piano. Gasps. Her parents turned pale. Her ex looked ready to run. I smiled. This was never a wedding. It was a reveal. She lunged at me. You psycho. I handed her a folder. Your signed prenup, now void. You leave with what you came with. Then I turned to her ex. Oh, and HR should be reaching out Monday. Something about ethical misconduct. You understand. He backed away. I nodded to the press. Let them ask questions. Truth deserves an audience. Then I walked out. For good this time. She followed, heels clicking behind me. You ruined everything. No, I said, opening the car door. You did that. I just gave it a spotlight. She didn't answer. I leaned in. Betrayal is an art. But so is revenge. You forgot who you were playing with. Then I drove off. And behind me, everything she built on deception began to crumble. They say revenge is hollow. But quiet? Quiet is peace when the noise is gone. She thought I'd break. That I'd beg. That love made me weak. But I never needed her to watch me win. I just needed her to know she lost. Every step I took was a mirror. And in the end, she saw herself. And it terrified her. Now, I sleep. No anger. No regret. Just silence. Because I didn't ruin the wedding. I revealed it. And the seat she gave away? Still empty. Right where it belongs.